Hey everyone, wanted to give you an update about my Spectracell results I got back today. A lot of people have been asking me, chomping at the bit as much as I have, of what my results were on my Spectracell lab that I did about 5 weeks ago. The the results normally come back in about 3 weeks, but I couldn't get down there to get the results. I couldn't take off work, so I went today after school, and very excited to share them with you. And so here we go. If you watched my previous video 5 weeks ago after I had taken the test, it's the Spectracell test is uh, a blood cell test that it measures 33 micronutrients in your blood. In particular, the it measures those nutrients in your white blood cells. So it's a very specific test. That's why it takes 3 weeks to get the results back, and it wants to see how your white blood cells are utilizing those micronutrients. So to see if you have deficiencies and all that stuff. Um, you can go back on YouTube and watch my previous video and stuff like that, a little bit of background. But basically, I've had severe exhaustion for pretty much over 10 years, probably even longer. And, came to a breaking point about a month and a half ago where I just couldn't take it anymore. I just exhausted all the time and falling asleep at the wheel, and my young daughter's in my car and just spontaneously nodding off and stuff like that, and hair falling out and just a lot of stuff, and got tired of my general practitioner tell me that I've been normal this whole time, or that the most I had is a vitamin D deficiency. And I knew there was something more than that. So that's my background. I came across this doctor that was recommended by my chiropractor. And in fact, this doctor, he's also a chiropractor, but he's certified nutritionist and well known around the country. People fly in all over the country to see him to do this Spectracell test. I mean, it's offered throughout the country, but they go to him because he really knows his stuff. And I'll post. His name is Ron Grabowski. Give me a second, I'll tell you for sure. He's located out of Katy, Texas. Yes, Ron Grabowski. Grabowski. And can't speak highly enough about him. But anyway, just fascinating. I mean, you can tell he knows his stuff. So anyway, let's get to the nitty gritty, shall we? Not only did I do the Spectracell test, but he had recommended that I do a test called the MTHFR, which, again, in my previous video, I go over what that test does. It also is a blood test. They did it at the same time as my Spectracell. But basically, it looks for a deficiency or a genetic mutation in your folate gene. So if your body's not processing the folate, it's not committed when it's not processing that folate acid. Your body's not producing amino acids and all that stuff. And basically everything just trickles down there from that. If you have that deficiency or that disorder, that MTHFR test will detect if you've had that deficiency or that disorder. It's a genetic deficiency, I guess. And it's like I said, it doesn't the folate acid doesn't convert into the amino acids because of that deficiency. As a result, many other deficiencies in your nutrients happen, and it affects many things throughout your body, as you can imagine, when you don't get the nutrients you need. But in particular, it affects your some of the neuro processes in your brain activity and stuff like that, and in vitro, and I went into all of that in my previous video, and it's pretty intense. But anyway, so yes, I got both results back, and for the MTHFR test, I did come back positive. There are 2 different mutations for it, and don't ask me to get into the nitty-gritty of what each mutation means. I have no earthly clue. So I did test positive for one of the mutations, and which, like I said, basically means that folate acid wasn't wasn't converting, and causing a lot of problems, which I'm kind of relieved that I tested positive for this, because to me, that gave me the answers that I've been looking for, because you know how you just know that this is probably the root of the problem. So it kind of upset me in my previous video that it could have led to some other disorders, with my daughter with autism and stuff like that. But who's to say that it caused that? But what's done is done, and I'm ready to move forward and hopefully start getting treatment. So the treatment for that is just a B vitamin, and I had to write it down here. It's actually a B12 vitamin. And you're thinking, okay, well, you can probably get B12 vitamins anywhere, and I'm going to go through that in just a minute. But not all vitamins are the same, as we know, and that's part of the problem. So I did test positive for that, and and that's going to be resolved with the supplement. So, okay, so I'll show you what my Spectracell lab results are, and I hope I can hold this up and you can maybe see it. We'll see. Okay, so let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to hold it up here. Okay, so it goes through. It, like I said, it measures the 33 nutrients in your white blood cells, and it came back, and it has a little diagram and all this stuff. But basically, what it came back is it tested of those 33 nutrients that I am deficient in choline and vitamin C. And that choline is a direct result from the MTHFR. So that disorder. So go figure that, like I said, when one thing's lacking, usually other things, trickle down the line. So, so those I'm definitely deficient in, and then I'm borderline deficient in the folate acid, like I told you, that from the MTHFR. So that's to be expected, and borderline deficient in calcium, biotin, coenzyme Q10, carnitine, Spectracell, manganese, and immunodex. Don't ask me what those are. So, which was quite interesting, that the vitamin D did not show up. That's what my regular practitioner told me I've been deficient in, and that didn't show up at all. Go figure, right? And a little side note is I've been taking the vitamin D supplements from my general practitioner, and so maybe that's why I'm not deficient, obviously, but I've still been exhausted despite that vitamin D supplement. So that was not the root of the problem, obviously. So, but it's, so there it tells you all the deficiencies, and here's a little, graph about that. I'm not going to go into that, but, and it gives you, some description of the breakdown and stuff to test. But, this is what I thought was really interesting. Is, remember I told you it tests 33 nutrients. So, sorry. Here's a breakdown of every single nutrient, and it goes on for 2 pages. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but if it's in red, it's deficient. So, like I said, the choline, if it's in blue, those are the ones that are borderline. So the calcium, manganese, and the other ones that are in blue. But it also, gives you a breakdown of all the other ones, and to see how close you are of hitting those, to see when those are going to become deficient or even borderline. And then this is what I really liked, because I'm a visual person, being I'm a math person, I can read charts and graphs a lot easier. To me, it just makes sense. So there's little charts for each and every of those 33 macronutrients that it tested. And let me see if I can hold this up real closely for you. Let's see if I can find one. See if I can scroll down here. Sorry. Try to hold it still. Okay, so basically, if this is the little dot of where my blood tested. Okay, so if I'm up in this white area, which in this case I am, that means I'm in the normal range. And you obviously want to be in the center of the white, because that means you're in a good, middle of the normal range. The yellow would mean borderline, and the blue is deficient. So here's a visual of each of the 33 macronutrients that Spectracell tested, which I really like because I'm a visual person. So, and let me just find some, like, for instance, here's the choline right here, and you can see that I'm down in the deficiency level. And so I'm almost to the borderline, but I have fallen below to the deficiency level. And he did say that it doesn't take much for when you start getting deficient in some of these, that obviously a lot of them will start to follow suit. So he was actually surprised that I wasn't more borderline on a lot more of the micronutrients. He was surprised. So that's good. But so anyway, like I said, it has the little, the diagrams of all 33 nutrients, and, you can kind of see where you are, visually with the, with each micronutrient. So that's it. And then it, gives you a little bit about the choline and all that stuff. So this is what I found very interesting, and I took a screenshot of it with my camera on my phone and printed it out, so the printout's kind of crappy, sorry. But he basically was telling me about the citric acid cycle, which he said every doctor on the planet is well aware. It's called by some other term, but offhand I can't recall it. But see if I can show it up to you. I liked this one better because it gave the food groups and stuff like that. All the ones that I found on the internet just were way too scientific for me. So in a nutshell, this is your metabolism every day. So and a healthy, normal person, okay, you're taking in all your food groups, your fats, your carbs, your proteins, okay, all those nutrients, assuming you're eating healthy, okay, all those nutrients are coming in to your system, okay, and creating carnitine, all your B vitamins, your lipolate, sorry, don't know what that is, but that's fueling your body. So, okay, that gets absorbed into your system. It starts fueling your body throughout the day, okay, and from that, your citric acid cycle, it's, producing your cysteine, your iron, your B3s, your magnesium, all those vitamins, right? Long story short, okay, in a normal person that's absorbing this, it cycles around and it produces energy, ATP, okay? So the chemical enzyme that your brain and your cells need to be productive to fuel your body. Okay, so that ATP, muscle and nerve function, maintenance, repair, basically everything your body needs to function. Okay, and all those amino acids, your vitamins, elements, organic acids, everything is within that citric acid cycle. Okay, so here's the thing with my with my MTHFR, that deficiency in my folate, how it's not converting my folate into amino acids. Well, guess what? That he told me that's right here. So basically, when I'm eating, even if they're healthy fats, that's getting stopped right here. It's not converting into those amino acids. So what's happening, it's not going in. All that energy of those foods that I'm eating are not going into that cycle to fuel my body throughout the day and produce that ATP that my body needs. And he said, in fact, it's going the opposite direction. Well, the opposite direction, if you can see it here, it says, without these, your metabolism slows down, aka you gain weight. Okay, and you get tired. Go figure. So I thought that was very interesting, and because I even asked him, I said, when you work out, your body's supposed to produce endorphins, and you're supposed to feel the surge of energy and get a natural high. I said, I've never had any of that, and I work out, and I said, I'm exhausted all the time, and I said, it's getting to the point I'm so exhausted I just don't even feel like working out, and it's just a vicious cycle, and it sucks. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. And he said that that's the main trigger of it. I mean, if I'm not getting that ATP in my body to fuel my cells, that it's there's no energy. I mean, I could put pre-workouts in my body and try to artificially stimulate my body, but I'm still just exhausted. It's so like I said, I'm not overly thrilled that I tested positive for that disorder, but I think that's the answer that I needed for sure, because I just wasn't getting it from my general doctor. So I'm really super excited, optimistic that we're going to get some results now. So he has a whole range of supplements that he sells there at his practice, and the difference between some of these are he said you can try to compare some of them. Like, I even brought in all my supplements, so I'm going to show you. I mean, this is just a tip of the iceberg of what I try to take every day just to try to function. Okay, so I told him this is what got me. I brought in my supplements because he wanted to see. He said some of them may still work if they, if he compared them. And so I paid like $50 for this because, this is before I did the Spectracell, but I was thinking my adrenal glands, because I'm so tired or whatever. I paid like $50 for this bottle, and it, has all these on the back, vitamin E, C, I mean, everything, riboflavin, even has folate, go figure, folate acid, biotin, some of the stuff that I'm, lacking in, but of course doesn't have enough, or it's not a pure formula. But anyway, he was looking, he's like, nowhere on this adrenal gland is B12, which is like, hello, that's like the main nutrient, that you need for energy. So I was like, isn't that just wonderful? So yeah, that was kind of a waste. Awesome. And then remember, I'm lacking in the calcium. I was borderline in the calcium and the manganese. So of course I've had this, which was calcium, magnesium, and I don't remember how much I paid for that, but he said that normally that this brand now is a pretty good brand, but he said in particular this is crap, because the calcium that's in there, I don't know if you have any chemistry background at all, but basically this calcium is equivalent to the calcium of chalk, that it's pointless. And I don't know if you've been watching the news, but on the they pretty much came out a couple of weeks ago saying that all these calcium supplements that women are taking over these years for osteoporosis are coming back to basically be worthless because they're taking the wrong calcium. It's like I said, he basically said you might as well be eating chalk powder because it's that kind of calcium. He said it's pointless. And and on the news they had said it is even coming back to cause, not only not helping with osteoporosis and all that, but it's coming back to cause kidney stones because it's, like I said, it's chalk. It's basically chalk. So it's, solidifying in your system and causing kidney stones and some forms of cancer and stuff like that. You're like, yay, that's awesome, right? Good to know. So he said normally this is a good brand, but he said this in particular because of that calcium. He said no. He said finish off the bottle and be done with it if I choose, obviously. And like I said, this was a total waste of money. That really made me mad. Then I had bought this Super B100 complex, B complex, and on the back it does have the B vitamins and some other stuff, biotin and stuff like that. But again, it's not some of the pure forms. And he told me what to look for, and I don't even know if I can hold this up so you can even see it. It's kind of teeny tiny. Obviously, the nutrients, right? I probably won't focus on it, but anyway, if you look at the back of your vitamins, the B12, and in parentheses, and I'm going to butcher this word, I apologize. It says vitamin B12, and in parentheses it says as cyanocobalamine. Sorry. Basically, it's a refined. It's not a pure form of B12. It's processed and refined. So that process that they use to put it in the vitamin is enough to where, for some people, obviously it'll work. But for my case, because of that, I have that disorder, my body won't break it down because it's not processing it. So I need a pure B12 and so let me find it. Excuse me. So this is the one that I bought from him. It's a B complex as well, but how you know the difference is the vitamin B12 on the back. In the parentheses, it doesn't have that. Sorry, that whatever it's called, that cyanocobalamine word. Sorry, I'm horrible at pronouncing words, but this one has a methylcobalamin. So you could probably read my handwriting better because I did write it down. Maybe right here. So on the B12, this is the one that I need, not this one. And he said it will be listed on the back of your vitamin bottles. So he said chances of you finding it over the counter are slim to none because these are all prescription vitamins. They are the purest form. And so I got that. And then, like I said, when I listed some of the other stuff that I was deficient in, I got the coenzyme Q10. Okay. That's another one he put me on. This one's ester C. That's for my vitamin C and calcium deficiency. And then I got this one, which is, you can see it, sorry, Estivation, and that is my calcium. It also has vitamin D, yay. So your calcium, manganese, and all that stuff to help with the calcium deficiencies. And he pretty much said I'll be taking this forever just because I'm in that critical time of, I'll be 43 this year. So anything 35 or above, you need to have that your calcium supplements because your bones are deteriorating faster than they'll repair themselves. And so I forget what the statistic he said was, but something like 40% of women over 55 or something that will break or break or fracture a bone because of their lack of calcium in there. And of those, a large majority of them develop blood clots that are fatal because the bone never heals and it produces a blood clot. And then, or if that doesn't happen, then it can create other things like cripple you, and all kinds of other fun stuff, all because of the low calcium and this osteoporosis stuff. So, ladies, if you're over 35, you need to be taking calcium supplement, and make sure it's not chalk. I'll have to look to see what the difference of the calcium. I don't know. I'll have to compare them, and I'll let y'all know. But to determine why this calcium, how do you know which calcium is the crappy one and which one's the good one that your body will actually absorb? Because I did ask him about that. I said, well, I heard on the news that it's like pointless to even take supplements, and he said, well, it's because people aren't. All the over-counter ones are, like I said, they're not the right formulation of calcium, and it's not doing a damn bit of good. So, yay. So, there is one other supplement that he did prescribe, but he was out of it, and it was the choline. So, I will be getting that this next week when he gets it in, and yay. So, he recommended doing the Spectracell twice a year. He said some people don't do it twice a year, but he wants to see me back 6 to 9 months or so to redo the Spectracell test to see if any of my levels have changed, to see if he can take me off any of these, and so, or if any other or if anything else drops below to deficient or borderline, so to see what we need to tweak or whatever. So so that's that. One other thing I had asked him about, I did inquire about my daughter Trinity, since she is autistic, and because of the brain disorder and stuff like that, and like I said, the MTHFR test, I wanted to know, because he said they could do it as young kids as 9 months. It's just a blood test. So I talked to him about maybe bringing her in to get her tested to see it, because if she has this order, get her started early on the correct B supplements, B12 supplements that her body will absorb, because all of that is tied into what her brain is absorbing. If she's not absorbing the nutrients, so he recommended that, definitely for her. So I'm going to be doing that. And then I also inquired for a friend of mine that her sons are epileptic, and she's pretty much tried everything, because her sons keep having grand mal seizures, and I started putting two together, and I said, is it possible, because epilepsy obviously is a brain disorder, that is it possible that this MTHFR disorder could be causing some of his seizures? And he said absolutely, that it some of the epilepsy medication, that they might be taking, one of the side effects is that they become deficient in various nutrients. So and if you're deficient in that nutrient, how's your brain gonna get what it needs to function properly? So of course it's gonna have some issues and misfire, and cause a couple seizures. So it's just kind of a vicious circle that, the medication that you're taking to hopefully stop the seizures is probably maybe triggering them, because now you're deficient in some nutrients. But I talked with her, and I told her, I said, you got to get into this doctor and get your sons tested for this disorder, because you're trying everything else, and it's not, nothing's working. And golly, what if it is just, could be just him deficient in some stuff that I'm not saying that obviously his epilepsy will be cured or anything at all, but what if it, instead of going from 3 to 4 seizures a week, he goes down to 1 a month or something like that? That would be awesome. So anyway, I'm excited to start these supplements. You take most of them twice a day. And I'm not gonna lie, they weren't cheap. all 5 were about $120. That's a month's supply. So, you know, yeah, I don't know, but I've been living like this for over 10 years, and it, like I said, it sucks because I don't have energy to do anything. Can't even read a book without falling asleep. Sucks. So anyway, but I thought it was kind of funny because he had mentioned that many of his patients, that he puts them on supplements, the right supplements that are pure. Sorry, the right supplements that are pure, and within 10 days, they are just astounded on the amount of energy that that they just have. They're just full of energy. They said they're just astounded by it. In fact, he kind of said that a couple of them have kind of questioned whether there was some stimulants in those vitamins, illegal stimulants. We're not going to go there, but because they give us so much energy, and it's not. It's just the purest form of vitamin that there is, and it's the right vitamin that your body is lacking. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to have some energy. So, and finally have some answers. Okay, so that's it. I'll do probably another video in 10 days or so. Let you know how my supplements are doing, and see if I'm bouncing off the walls. I hope so. That'd be awesome. So, all right. If like I said, if you want to know that doctor's name, his name is. I'll see if I can hold it up. I don't know if I can hold it up or not, and if you can see it, there it is. Ron Grabowski. Highly recommend him. He's in the Houston area, Katy to be exact. But he's, like I said, he has people from all over the country that come to him twice a year just because he knows his stuff. And but they do, this Spectracell test is offered throughout the country. The lab is located in Houston. However, they only have one lab in the whole country. So, but you could get your blood drawn at a Spectracell draw site, obviously. And but do your research and see what doctors are qualified to read those results, and and go from there. But I very overall, I'm pleased with my results, and I'll be even more happy if I have some energy. So that's it. Hope maybe you learned something. I know I learned a lot. I love going to talk to him, and like I said, I could talk to him for hours and hours because it's just a wealth of knowledge. It's astounding. Some of the stuff that he tells me it's crazy, And I asked him. I said, after my last video, how I was kind of upset about how regular doctors aren't offering this test. They just offer the basic blood panel test, which sucks. And I told him, how come doctors aren't offering this? This is ridiculous. who wants to be, like I said, who wants to be on drugs that only mask the symptoms or not taking care of the root of the problem? I could have, like I said, they could have put me on, a thyroid medication or whatever, which may have helped, but it's not the root of the problem. So, and, he said, well, because, sadly, doctors, if they treated you for the root of the problem or actually did preventative medicine, you won't be going to the doctor as much, huh? So, might give you something to think about. But but thankfully, he's believes in preventative medicine. So I'm extremely happy with him. So if you're in the Houston metro area, or if not, and you want to go fly in and see him, I'm telling you, it was awesome. So I'll let you know what in 10 days or so if I have some energy. Maybe you'll start seeing more workout videos of me because I'll be actually having some energy to work out. So that's it. Have a good